a little later. Okay. So the time is now 12 noon, and I will call the meeting of the District of Columbia Board of Ethics and Government Accountability to order. I'm Norma Hutcheson, BEGA Chairperson, and due to COVID-19, this meeting is being held virtually via WebEx. Joining me for the meeting today are board members Charles Nottingham, Darrin Sobin, and Melissa Tucker. Ms. Smith will be joining us shortly. Together, we constitute a quorum for this meeting. Since it was first published, the meeting agenda has not changed in any way, but I ask that you take a minute to review the agenda, and then we can have a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda for today's meeting. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, hearing none, the board has adopted the agenda for today's meeting. Before us today also are the minutes from the September 8th, 2022 meeting in draft form, and we need a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
I'm going to recuse myself, Madam Chair, from this vote because I was not at the last meeting, although I did review the minutes afterwards. So I think maybe I would just recuse for the purposes of this approval.
Okay.
I'll offer the motion that we approve the minutes from the September meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Great. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the September 8th, 2022 meeting. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the board approves the September 8th, 2022 meeting minutes. Okay. Next on our agenda is a report from the Office of Open Government. We'll hear from Director Niquelle Allen, who will provide a report on behalf of the office, and she's also appearing via WebEx. Director Allen, please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I am Niquelle Allen, Director of Open Government, and I am pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Open Government, or OOG. Since the last board meeting, OOG has continued to fulfill its mission of ensuring that all persons receive full and complete information regarding the affairs of the district government and the actions of those who represent them. I'll start my report with Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act advice rendered by the office. The first item, advisory opinions. I have not issued an advisory opinion since the last board meeting. The second item is Informal Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act advice. Since the last board meeting, OOG responded informally via email or telephone to requests for assistance as follows. OOG responded to 17 requests for Open Meetings Act advice. OOG responded to 16 requests for Freedom of Information Act advice, and OOG responded to 24 requests for technical assistance with the website open-dc.gov. The next item is remote meeting monitoring. To ensure compliance with the Open Meetings Act, OOG attorneys attend remote public meetings and inspect public body websites and the office's central meeting calendar for public meeting notices and public meeting records. We provide legal advice on Open Meetings Act compliance and take corrective action if necessary. During September 2022, OOG attended 4 remote public body meetings. As a result of the monitoring, 3 instances of written corrective measures were taken, including the following notifications. 1, that 2 public meeting notices did not include draft agendas and meeting records were missing from the public body's website or the central meeting calendars. The OMA requires timely posting of these items under DC Official Code Section 2-576, Notice of Meetings. The second was a missing electronic link from the meeting notice to attend a remote meeting, and that's required under DC Official Code Section 2-577, Meeting Procedures. The next item in my report is training and outreach. FOIA training. On September 13th, 2022, Attorney DeBerry presented FOIA requesters, FOIA fees, acknowledgement letters, and final response letters training for approximately 45 FOIA officers. Several followed up with questions via email. I, along with Paralegal Specialist Brown, attended this training. This webinar was conducted as a part of a series of FOIA training courses hosted and facilitated by OOG. The second is FOIA exemptions training. On September 20th, 2022, I presented FOIA training, commonly used FOIA exemptions for district FOIA officers. Attorney DeBerry also assisted during this presentation. The 51 attendees actively participated by asking questions during the presentation. Chief Counsel Barton, Attorney Weil, and Paralegal Specialist Brown were also in attendance. The webinar was conducted also as a part of a series hosted by the office, and DC FOIA officers are required to take 8 hours of FOIA training per year, so this helped them with that requirement. OMA Basic Training. On September 22nd, 2022, Chief Counsel Barton presented an Open Meetings Act training for 43 administrative points of contact and public body members. The training included practical advice for ensuring OMA compliance. I, along with the OOG legal team, attended the training. The next item is Open Meetings Act and Parliamentary Procedure Training. On September 27th, attorneys DeBerry and Weil conducted basic parliamentary procedure and the OMA training for 30 administrative points of contact or public body members. The attendees actively participated by asking questions. The next item is the National Institute of Trial Advocacy, or NITA, Investigative Questioning Techniques. On September 15th through 16th, I, along with Attorney Weil and Paralegal Kimberly Brown, attended NITA's Investigative Questioning Techniques training. The two-day training required active participation by attendees and was held at American University School of Law. Members of the Office of Government Ethics staff also attended the training, and it was good to see everyone. Constructive feedback was given from NITA, and the faculty was engaged in an active learning format. The next item is NITA deposition training. On September 27th through 29th, I, along with Attorney DeBerry, Attorney Weil, and Paralegal Specialist Brown, and members of OGE staff, attended NITA's 3-day online deposition training. The attendees, again, actively participated in each stage of the deposition process and received individual critiques from the skilled faculty presenters. The next item is Mayor Bowser's cabinet meeting. On September 28th, 2022, I attended Mayor Bowser's cabinet meeting. In the meeting, cabinet members and independent agency directors received information from the new chief financial officer on the launch of the new financial system, DISF, that went live on October 3rd, 2022. We also received reports on the accomplishments and activities of several agencies. The last item is training is a district integrated financial system training. On September 29, 2022, I completed this training, which included the following courses: Introduction to DIFS, Chart of Accounts, Microlearning, Introduction to DIFS EPM, Introduction to Reporting, P-Card, and Travel and Reimbursement. IT Specialist Combined Bridges also completed P-Card training and Travel and Reimbursement training on September 30th, 2022. The next item is litigation and legislative update. The first is litigation, Washington Post FOIA lawsuit regarding records arising out of the Capitol insurrection. As I have reported before, the Washington Post sued the District of Columbia under DC FOIA seeking certain records relating to the Capitol insurrection. The Superior Court dismissed the Post claims concerning the mayor's email messages, but other claims remain contested. The mediation has been reset for November 29th, 2022, and dispositive motions are due on October 6th, 2022. Terrace, Plavick, and Millen LLP lawsuit regarding preliminary budget requests. As I've also previously reported, this law firm sued the district under DC FOIA, alleging that the district failed to produce and post online various budget-related documents related to the Office of the State Superintendent of Education and DC Public Schools. The DC Court of Appeals held oral argument on September 28th, 2022. OOG staff will continue to monitor this and all court activity related to open government. The next item is legislation. Post Public Health Emergency Protections Extension Amendment Emergency and Temporary Amendment Acts of 2022. On September 20th, 2022, the Council of the District of Columbia enacted legislation, one section of which addressed the impending expiration of certain pandemic amendments to the Open Meetings Act. If approved into law, this legislation will continue the ability of district public bodies to, one, forego posting of a physical notice of meetings, and two, provide that a meeting shall be deemed open to the public if the public body allows the public to view or hear the meeting while the meeting is taking place, or if doing so is not technologically feasible, soon thereafter as is reasonably practicable. The emergency version passed both voice vote, and the companion temporary measures passed on its first reading by unanimous roll call. Both bills are in Dropbox. Board of Ethics and Government Accountability, Delinquent Debt Recovery Amendment Act of 2022 is the next legislative item. The council also passed on first reading Bill 24-0706, which Director Cooks and I have reported on, concerning referral of delinquent debts to the Central Collection Unit and depositing them into the Ethics and Open Government Funds. For your convenience, the current version of the bill is Attachment H to the committee report, which is in the Dropbox. The last item in my report are administrative matters. OOG Attorney Advisor vacancy. OOG will be listing its Attorney Advisor position this month. We look to have that position filled by the end of the calendar year. OOG Attorney promotions. OOG Attorney Nicholas Weil has accepted the opportunity to serve as OOG's trial attorney, and OOG Attorney Sharita Berry will occupy the newly formed Attorney Advisor position that covers training coordination, education, FOIA, and record management. Congratulations to both attorneys. This concludes the Office of Open Government's October 6, 2022 report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Allen. Are there any questions for Director Allen? Okay. Well, the next on our agenda is a report from the Office of Open Government. We'll hear from the Director, Ashley Cooks. Ashley.
Office of Government Ethics.
Sorry,
I
did I
think you
get those
misspoke.
words backwards? Office of Government Ethics, I'm sorry.
It's
We'll
okay.
hear from Director Cooks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I'm Ashley Cooks, the Director of Government Ethics. I'm pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Government Ethics, OGE. First, an update on the status of OGE operations. The information reported today regarding OGE's cases will not reflect any status changes that may occur as a result of actions taken by the board during today's meeting. First, open investigations by status. We have 43 matters that are open, 1 matter that is pending negotiations for a grand total of 44 matters. We have 1 matter that is undocketed. Next are pending state investigations by status. We have 28 matters that are closed pending collection, 4 matters stayed pending DC Superior Court case, 6 matters stayed for OAG False Claims Act case, 5 matters stayed for OIG investigation, and 1 matter stayed for U.S. District Court case for a grand total of 44. Regulatory matters by status. We have 30 matters that are closed pending collection, 17 matters that are open for a grand total of 47 matters. Again, we currently have 44 open investigations and 16 matters that are stayed. The number of open preliminary and formal investigations includes 4 new matters. The investigative team resolved 8 investigations since the board last met. The quarterly complaint report for the 4th quarter of fiscal year 2022 will be formulated this month and will be posted by the next board meeting. Next is training and outreach. First, professional development trainings attended by staff. The district started the transition to a more dynamic, fluid, and integrated financial system over 3 years ago. The new system, District Integrated Financial System, DIFS, has 3 components: enterprise resource planning, enterprise performance management, and reporting. Due to this change, the Office of the Chief Financial Officer released mandatory trainings for employees who will use the new system. BEGA uses the new system for its purchase card, budget, and travel expense needs. As BEGA's agency program coordinator, Auditor Jaduba completed all 6 DIFS trainings, which are Introduction to DIFS, Introduction to DIF Enterprise Performance Management Planning, Introduction to Reporting, Chart of Accounts Microlearning, P-Card Reconciliation, and Travel Approval and Reimbursement. Administrative Officer Tyrell Dow, Director Allen, IT Specialist Kavon Bridges, Chief of Staff Christina Mitchell, and myself completed those same trainings. BEGA employees who will travel to attend conferences and trainings will complete the travel approval and reimbursement training. Administrative Officer Tyrell Dow completed ADA Coordinator Annual Training Titles 1 and 2, Mastering the Art of Technical Writing and Business Grammar and Proofreading. Investigators and attorneys participated in 2 trainings offered by the National Institute for Trial Advocacy, NITA. The trainings were NITA's Investigative Questioning Techniques Training, a 2-day in-person course, and Deposition Skills Training, a 3-day virtual course. Both trainings were intense and instruction was entirely interactive learning. I also attended the Deposition Skills Training. Attorney Advisor Maurice Eccles completed the following courses in addition to the NITA Investigative Questioning Techniques course: National White Collar Crime Center's Cognitive Interview Training and Deposition Skill offered by the National Academy of CLE. Senior Attorney Advisor Lynn Tran completed the Practicing Law Institute's Corporate Political Activities 2022, Complying with Campaign Finance, Lobbying, and Ethics Laws training. General Counsel Rashi Raj took a 24-hour course, Dare to Lead training, based on the book by Brené Brown. The small group worked on the skills, practices, and tools to underpin the 4 skill sets of courage: rambling with vulnerability, living into our values, braving trust, and learning to rise. The purpose of the course is to reimagine leaders as those who take responsibility for finding the potential in people and processes and have the courage to develop that potential. Being a daring leader in practice means being vigilant about creating and fostering a culture in which people feel safe, seen, heard, and respected.
24 hours? You mean like straight through?
No, over the course of a few days.
I was like, wow.
Next,
And how did that compare to the one, the Leadership Academy that the DC Bar put on? I'm curious.
yeah, Rashi, do you have any insight?
Well, I guess Raji wasn't at the DC Bar one, but from what you've heard, Director, it looks pretty impressive, the kind of stuff. Raji?
It was emotionally very taxing. I can tell you that much. Like every day that you left, you were completely spent practicing hard conversations.
Good. This is important training, these types. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I plan to, I would like to take it myself, so.
Okay.
All right, next are trainings conducted by staff. Since the September board meeting, OGE conducted 6 trainings: the September monthly ethics training, 2 ethics trainings for the DC One Fund kickoff, the September brown bag session, DC lobbying and how to file training, and the October monthly Hatch Act training. Last week, Attorney Advisor Millicent Jones led our monthly ethics counselor brown bag session, which examined the intersection of the DC One Fund and ethics. 28 ethics counselors attended. Our next brown bag session will take place on Monday, October 31st, and will focus on ethics scary stories, true tales of the issues that make ethics counselors' blood run cold. During September, 27 employees completed our online ethics training via PeopleSoft. In April 2022, OGE went live with the Learning Management System, LMS. The system enhances the training outreach of OGE and equips employees with the tools and information necessary to be ethical. Since going live, 267 employees have completed 661 learning modules, which is a 5% increase from previous reporting. Nexus Outreach. OGE and OOG continue to meet with the Office of the Chief Technology Officer's website development staff to coordinate the BEGA website refresh. The website refresh will improve organization, searchability, and user friendliness, as well as the overall appearance of the website. We are currently working on changing the website's design so that information is readily available with minimal search efforts. We recently submitted an updated sitemap of the website and approved the mock-up of the website design. Ethics Week 2020. Ethics Week is next week. This year's theme is Ethics in Practice, and it will take place October 11th through the 14th as a virtual event. The event will feature courses presented by OGE and OOG staff, as well as guest presentations and panel discussions by leading ethics and compliance professionals. The course schedule and registration information can be found on the BEGA website. A copy of the final schedule was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Next is an update on advisory opinions and advice. For informal advice, OGE's legal staff provided advice for approximately 37 ethics inquiries, which is 13 more than the 24 reported at the September meeting. This number does not include responses we have provided to questions regarding lobbyists and FDS e-filing systems. Next is formal advice. OGE has completed a sua sponte advisory opinion entitled Guidance on the Local Hatch Act and Fundraising Activities. The opinion provides guidance on maintaining ethical standards while engaging in political activity and clarifies prohibited and permissible fundraising activities. It covers permissible fundraising activities such as fundraising for one's own campaign, fundraising for a partisan non-district regulated campaign, and the designation rule. It also includes fundraising prohibitions for social media and offers 4 illustrative examples. Pursuant to DC Official Code Section 1-116219, Section 192, the opinion was sent to the DC Register for a 30-day notice of publication. A copy of the opinion was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Next are legislation updates. Bill 24-0706, the Board of Ethics and Government Accountability Delinquent Debt Recovery Amendment Act of 2022. This bill would allow BEGA to discretionarily transfer delinquent debts associated with settlements and judgments for Ethics and Open Meetings Act violations to the district's central collection unit for collection, and for the funds collected on BEGA's behalf to be deposited into the Ethics Fund and OMA Fund instead of the general fund. The additional funding would allow BEGA to supplement its operations budget. I'm pleased to announce that on Tuesday, October 4th, the bill was passed by the council. As next steps, the bill will be presented to the mayor for approval and then Congress. I would like to thank Councilmember Niquelle for introducing the legislation and advocating for its passage. I'd also like to thank the BEGA staff members who assisted in drafting the legislation and provided research for its justification. A copy of the committee report was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Next are OGE Administrative Matters. First, OGE Staffing. I'm pleased to announce that Ms. Christina Mitchell, our new Chief of Staff, started on September 12th. Christina joined the district government in 2004 and joined the BEGA team with extensive experience with the Office of the Chief Financial Officer and the Office of the Executive Office of the Mayor, where she was the Chief of Staff for the Office of Disability Rights. Christina's role within DC has been a cross-cutting one with a citywide profile including age-friendly DC, emergency mass care planning, and implementing the citywide effective communication program to include sign language and video remote interpretation. Christina is a certified public manager and native Washingtonian with 2 kids. Welcome. Our attorney advisor vacancy announcement closed last Monday, and we will begin reviewing resumes soon. The program support assistant vacancy was posted to careers.dc.gov on last Friday and closes on October 14th, but may be extended if necessary. As an approved fiscal year 2023 budget enhancement request, OGE received funding to hire a supervisory investigator. That position will be posted in the next few months. Next is a budget update. On October 1st, fiscal year 2023 began. On September 29th, the Office of Budget and Performance Management held its fiscal year 2024 budget formulation kickoff meeting. BEGA's Chief of Staff and Administrative Officer attended the meeting. BEGA will submit its fiscal year 2024 budget enhancement request by the November 4th deadline. We received notice from the Department of General Services that our office relocation is still underway. Again, that space is located at 1050 15th Street Northwest. The next step is to schedule a kickoff construction meeting with the project team. Additionally, OGE and OOG worked with the Office of the Chief Financial Officer to close out funding for the remainder of fiscal year 2022, as well as preparing for expenditures for fiscal year 2023. Next is an update on financial disclosure statement, FDS. Enforcement activities continue for the 2022 filing season, with OGE providing a list of late and not filed filers to the Office of Pay and Retirement Services for wage garnishments. The calendar year 2021 financial disclosure fine wage garnishment includes 164 non and late public filers, 112 non and late confidential filers, and fine waivers denied by the board. Auditor Chajuba completed the calendar year 2021 public and confidential disclosure statement completeness and accuracy audit, and the findings were discussed with the FDS team. Abstract Evolutions, the IT vendor that has made several upgrades to the FDS e-filing system, provided a beta test version of the latest upgrade to the financial disclosures e-filing system. This recent upgrade consists of enhancing login privileges for council members and adding certification language that is consistent with the members' biannual filing requirements. Last week, OGE conducted testing and provided feedback to Abstract Evolutions, identifying a few reporting issues. Abstract Evolutions responded to those proposed fixes by September 30th. And last is an update on lobbying registration and reporting, LRR. The third quarter activity reports for 2022 are due on Monday, October 17th, 2022. On September 30th, the LRR team sent a reminder notice to 450 lobbyists. The notice advised the recipients of the upcoming due date for the activity reports. The LRR team sent an invitation to 450 lobbyists and admin personnel for the lobbyist training, Introduction to DC Lobbying and How to File. The training took place on October 5th and was conducted by Attorney Advisor Echols and Program Specialist Kosick. Thank you. This concludes the Office of Government Ethics, October 6, 2022 report.
Thank you, Director Cooks. Are there any questions for Director Cooks about anything?
Director, the Hatch Act sua sponte opinion was, did we do one before it? It seems to me, I think we did one already. Is this an updated version?
We have done, we've done a meet and greet Hatch Act advisory opinion that alluded to fundraising, but we've never done an actual full fundraising opinion. So this one fully addresses fundraising under the local Hatch Act.
Good. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to really go through it before the meeting, but I'm going to take a look. Thank you.
Let me know if you have any comments.
It's great, I'm sure, especially since it's gone off to the DC Register.
We still have time to edit, so.
That's okay. All right, I'll take a look.
I just would like to join Director Cooks in welcoming our new Chief of Staff. We're glad to have her. Thank you.
Yes, I was just about to do that. Welcome to Ms. Mitchell. We're glad to have you. Also, I'd like to remind board members to register for Ethics Week. That's next week. Right?
Yeah, I heard there's going to be leading ethics, folks. It says in your notes there, right, Ashley?
That's correct.
Thank you for that designation.
Right. And before we move on, I'd also like to note that board member Felice Smith has joined us. She joined during Director Cooks's report. Any other questions for Director Cooks before we move to the next item? The next item on the agenda are public comments. And the public was invited to submit comments in writing by 11 a.m. today. No comments were received by 11 a.m. today. That has not changed. Okay. Next on the agenda is executive session or a closed session. This is a closed session to discuss ongoing confidential investigations pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B14, to consult with an attorney to obtain legal advice and to preserve the attorney-client privilege between an attorney and a public body pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B4A, to discuss personnel matters, including the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, performance evaluation, compensation, discipline, demotion, removal, or resignation of government appointees, employees, or officials pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B10, to deliberate on a decision in which the Ethics Board will exercise quasi-judicial functions pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B13, and to discuss contract negotiation strategies pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B3. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
I'll offer the motion that we enter into executive session.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we enter into executive session. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, I ask that you log out of this session and log into WebEx for the executive session. Once the executive session ends, we will log back into this session to report out on any matters that were decided, finish any other business, and adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Okay, it looks like there's a forum back for the open meeting. I'm sorry, the time is now 1:12 p.m. and we are back in open session. The board approved a negotiated disposition for matter number 22-0013-P in Ray K. Dobson. No other matters to report out. We can now conclude this meeting and we will meet the next time on November 3rd, also by WebEx at 12 noon. Thank you. Have a good, I guess it's Indigenous People Day that's coming up.
Monday. Yep.
Monday. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. See you next month.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.